The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. The NFL kicks off this week. Get ready for the season with 32 NFL previews from the Sports Gambling Podcast. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NFL previews today. And the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, which is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne, Northeast England. Today is Monday, September the 5th. It's Labour Day. Happy Labour Day. I don't know what it is, but I hope you're all having a lovely time. And we are here to handicap a slate of games for Tuesday, September the 6th. And for the second night running, it's the OAP special with, from Houston, Texas, Mr. Munaf Manji. Munaf, how's your Labour Day? Are you labouring, or are you not meant to labour, or what's going on?
Oh, definitely labouring. NFL. I don't know if we consider myself a laborer. I mean, there's a lot more hardworking people that actually have to get up at 5 a.m. and go to their workplace and keep the economy working. Here, I sit behind a desk and talk about sports and give out picks. So, no, shout out to all those that just grind, man. It's living the American dream, I guess we can say, and providing for your family. So, yeah, it's NFL week, but I'm still grinding away here. No days off, Malcolm. You know that.
Yeah, well, I'm very much a working class hero, Munaf, as you well know. So, yeah, and you were meant to be going to the game today, Munaf. What happened when I last spoke? You were going to watch the Astros.
Yeah, I realized I have 3 drafts tonight, so there was no way that I could do that from my phone at the game and pay attention to the game as well. So decided not to go. So I'm gonna have 3 drafts starting at 6 o'clock my time, and then I think there's another one at 7:30 and then 8:30. So I'll probably be spending about a good 3 to 4 hours down there in the office, just grinding away some drafts and getting ready for the season.
So you can't watch the Astros and draft 3 teams all at once. What's wrong with you? Come on.
It's just not living up to the name of the machine, I guess. Huh?
No, absolutely not. No. Well, I'm roundabout. In fact, Munaf, in 36 hours, in 9 minutes, it'll be wheels up. I will be off. I went to see my mum this afternoon, and my mum gave me $200, Munaf. I'm a 46-year-old man, and I'm still getting pocket money off my mum.
You gave me some lunch money.
Yeah. So, yeah, get yourself something nice. So that was, I wasn't too embarrassed not to take it and stuff it in my back pocket immediately, which is exactly what happened. But,
well, that's the money you have to use at the books, because that's going to be some good luck.
Yeah. I'll use Mary Bamford's money at the books. I'll buy her something nice when I win $1 million or something. In the interesting closure, again, I know no one was interested, but I survived the fantasy sweat last night. Ryan, do you know who got me through? Miles Mikolas in his 8 shutout innings for the Cards brought Ryan's ERA and WHIP both down. So he beat his opponent 8-2, which meant I scraped in because it was 6-4 before Mikolas in his 8 shutout innings. So that was the how tight it was after an entire season. One run or one hit off Miles Mikolas would have seen me knocked out the playoffs. But so I am playing Cody Zeeb this week in the quarterfinals. Very much looking forward to that. I've had a good start, actually. Baltimore have got me off the Baltimore and Toronto have scored a few runs early on. Anthony Santander's hit 2 dingers, and I have him in my team. So steady start there in that one. They've got some early games, if we can just kind of recap a little bit. We were on the flip side. I'm not bringing it up just because I was on the right side for once, although I do need a little change in fortune. We were on the opposite side of the Twins and Yankees game, which you were on the over 8. I was on the under. Finished 5-2 with the Yankees. Yeah. I didn't watch it. I've been watching Toronto and Baltimore, but you telling me there was a gazillion double plays in that one that scuppered you.
Yeah, a lot of the double plays in that game. And I think the thing that also pisses you off even more is that right after that double play happens, a player always gets a hit, and that happened a couple times. But yeah, tough loss to start the week. Hopefully, I can rebound here tonight for the Tuesday games.
That was a good win for the Yankees because the lineup was horrible.
Yeah,
I don't know whether it was. It looked like a Sunday. Like I don't know. It just
Stant left the game, I think, with
a did he?
injury. Yeah, I think it was maybe in the early inning, or not early innings, but I think it was maybe. I think it was the 6th or 7th inning where he left the game early. I don't know. We'll have to get an update on that. Hopefully, we could provide that update on the pod tomorrow. But he left the game early. Judge hit another home run.
Yeah.
Marvin Gonzalez got one, and I think Isaiah kind of.
I've got one. Yeah.
And then Gary Sanchez just hit a moonshot of like 474 feet.
Yeah. Good win for the Yankees. I saw that lineup and I thought, it actually made me happier about the under because I didn't ever think the Yankees were going to score enough runs. So when I saw the lineup announced, but yeah, squeezed one in there. So hopefully I'll have a better week this week. We're going to start tomorrow with a 6:35 Eastern first pitch, and it is a game that you heard this entire handicap for yesterday because it's the game that was rained off between the New York Mets and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the same two pitchers going, Taijuan Walker and Mitch Keller. So, yeah, this is exactly what you handicapped yesterday, Munaf. So you can take us through again. And has anything changed? Because my handicap was based a little bit on a travel spot, which is kind of not there anymore. So I wasn't sure what to do. So give us what you've got.
Yeah, nothing's really changed. I'm still going to be on the Mets on the run line here. Mitch Keller, again, like I mentioned yesterday, I don't need to go through all the numbers again, but he's winless at home still. And again, we talked about how I want to fade at least Mitch Keller when he's at home and just not having a great season for the Pirates overall. I know Noah has mentioned this is probably their best pitcher, but when he's 4-10 on the season with a 4.43 ERA, 0-6 at home with a 4.81 ERA. I'm just going to continue riding the Mets here. I think there's a spot for them. Getting the day off today, trying to just kind of get refocused. Braves are on the doorstep for the division as well. You lost 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals. Now you go up against one of the worst teams in the Pittsburgh Pirates in the National League. I think it's a good spot for them to rebound. Pick hasn't changed. It's going to be the Mets run line again for me.
Yeah, well, my pick last night was the Pirates run line. I thought they could keep it relatively close. I thought the Mets would fall over the line in a bit of an ugly one. But that travel spot's gone away now. So I'm just going to leave this completely. I don't think I gave the lines out, actually, when I announced the game. It's the Mets are minus 220. The Pirates 183. And the total is set at 8. But yeah, on the back of that rain delay, I'm going to gloss over this one and I'll find other stuff that we can get our teeth into. For example, a 6:40 Eastern pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the Tampa Bay Rays. Rich Hill, left-handed pitcher for Boston, and Drew Rasmussen is the starter for Tampa Bay. Boston are plus 135, Tampa Bay minus 155. Total here is set at 7. Rich Hill is 6-5 on the season, has a 4.52 ERA. He's pitched 93 2/3 with 76 strikeouts. Rasmussen 9-4, 2.70 ERA, 116 2/3, 103 strikeouts. Now, on the face of it, Rich Hill looks like a fade, but the more I looked into it, I'm all right with him in this spot tomorrow. He's got a 5.48 ERA in his last 5. However, with only one decent start in there. The other 4 have been relatively poor. However, he's much better on the road. He's got a 3.44 road ERA, and he's fired 11 scoreless against Tampa Bay so far this season. So we actually got a couple of ticks in some boxes as we looked at Rich Hill. Rasmussen's been great. His last 5 starts have seen him go 3-0 with he's got a 1.97 home ERA. I was a bit disappointed when I looked at the total. I wanted an 8 or a 7.5 because I was leaning towards the under here because I do think Rich Hill can go well. And I'm expecting a great start again from Rasmussen. So I'm going to take the under. It's tentative. I'd like a bigger price. but I'm going to take the under 7 here, Munaf.
Yeah, I like the under in this game as well. Rich Hill, like you mentioned, 11 shutout innings against the Rays so far this season in 2 starts, 4-2 on the road with a 3.44 ERA against AL East team. Surprisingly, he's also done well. 2.84 ERA in 4 starts against those teams. So, yeah, I think I want to back the under with you here. I don't have a lean to the side. Drew Rasmussen has been great, like you mentioned, 6-1 at home with a 1.97 ERA. And let's just check the WRC plus numbers against left-handed pitching. Is Rasmussen's right-handed, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just check it for the Tampa Bay Rays since they're going up against Rich Hill. So Tampa Bay against left-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks, WRC plus. Where are you, Tampa? They're number 13, so a little above league average. But again, I think I just like the history that Rich Hill does have, which leads me to the under in this game as well.
The lines that we are picking from tonight come from our headline sponsor here, which is the WinBet. The perfect time to join WinBet is now. You can bet $100 and get a $100 free bet. Great for kicking off the NFL season on Thursday or Sunday if you want to fill your boots over there. The WinBet Casino is open 24 hours a day as well. You get a 100% deposit there. And the first quarterback to throw for 5 touchdown props are up and live and really good fun as well. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. So they know that we sent you. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you're someone who knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. The free roll football contest as well. Mentioned them at the top of the show. The college football contest, which I am already out of, probably a world record. $1,500 up for grabs with that one. Stop laughing, Munaf. NFL contest is $5,000 and a 2-night stay at the Wynn Las Vegas for me in the IT department. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. And also tell you about the Elias Sports Bureau. You will be aware of them. They're the official statisticians. I got that word wrong last night. I've nailed it tonight. Of US pro sports leagues, including the NFL. And their app lets you access team and player stats, head-to-head team comparisons, key insights from Elias's own research team, player news, league validated player stats. I mean, everything you want to know is on this. Is on this app. NFL season is here. Download the Elias Game Plan app today. Get a 14-day free trial of a monthly subscription plan. But use the code SGPN. Elias Game Plan Sports Betting in the App Store, Play Store, and use the promo code SGPN. 6:45 Eastern, first pitch is the Miami Marlins at the Philadelphia Phillies. Jesus Luzardo, the left-handed pitcher, goes for Miami. And Aaron Nola will draw the start for Philadelphia. Miami are plus 175, Philly minus 211, and the total here is set at 7, Munaf. What have you got? The Phillies are struggling, man.
Yeah, I think that's an understatement, how much the Philadelphia Phillies are struggling. But, now you're back at home. You have your ace on the mound and Aaron Nola, who is 9-11 on the season with a 3.43 ERA. Struggled a bit over his last 5 games where he's 2-3 with a 4.22 ERA. I mean, he got absolutely crushed in his last game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. 4 innings, he allowed 8 earned runs, 10 hits in that game. I mean, that was a game where he was coming off that complete game shutout against the Reds. So I think there was a little bit of regression due there. But I think this is a spot where he gets to go back home. He goes up against an offense that's just really been struggling to score any type of runs, and he does have success against. He has 2 starts this season against the Miami Marlins where he's gone 15 1/3 innings pitched and only allowed 2 earned runs in that span. And I want to see what the final scores have been in those games here. So he faced them back on June 13th. The Phillies won that game 3-2, and then the latest game was July 17th where they won that game 4-0. So there was a couple of ways, and again, Jesus Luzardo, let me get to him, 3-6 with 3.44 ERA. He's been pretty good as well. He's 1-2 with a 2.87 ERA over his last 5 starts. Unfortunately for the Marlins, again, like I mentioned, the offense has just been struggling. They just don't provide the run support to him. They've lost each of his last 4 starts with Luzardo on the mound. I think this is a good spot for the Phillies going up against an offense that has just been really struggling, especially at the plus price on the run line here, Malcolm. I do like the Phillies -1.5, +110. I also would entertain Marlins team total to go under in this game as well. If you're able to find a 3, I think that would be great. I think it'll probably be 2.5, but if your book does offer that 3 number, I do like the under 3 as well for the Marlins full game team total under.
Yeah, well, I was looking for any angle I could to try and take on the Phillies here, because they have been absolutely terrible lately. Nola doesn't inspire an awful lot of confidence. I think the Phillies have only won 1 out of the last 8 or 9. The only problem is, I think it was probably any other team in MLB, I might have taken the dog. But Miami they've lost 7 on the spin as well, and they don't score any runs. We're going to take a consecutive under 7 here to back up the under 7 that we took in the Boston Tampa Bay game. Miami doesn't score any runs. You just mentioned the Miami team total. I agree with that, but I do think Luzardo can hold them as well. So you might get something maybe like a 4-1 if we can cash both our bets here. But yeah. Not a very inspiring game to look at or handicap, that one. Next, 7:05 Eastern first pitch. This is better. The Toronto Blue Jays and the Baltimore Orioles playing a doubleheader today. The Toronto pitcher is Mitch White, and Kyle Bradish will go for the Orioles. Close on the books. Toronto -115, Baltimore -105. Total set at 8.5. Mitch White is 1-5 on the season, 4.67 ERA. Has pitched 79 innings with 67 Ks. Kyle Bradish 3-5, 5.12 ERA, 87 innings, 84 strikeouts. Mitch White, last 5 starts, 0-3 record, 7.04 ERA. He's been really poor in his last 2 as well. I'm out on him. I was out on him before his numbers have caught up with him. So I was actually kind of right to be. We often have a bit chat with Johnny Junta since White went across from the LA Dodgers to Toronto. And yeah, I've faded him for the last 3 weeks. And now his numbers are starting to catch up with him. Bradish, on the other hand, 2.65 in his last 5 starts. He's been great in his last 2. Absolutely brilliant. He can go again, I think, tomorrow. I'm expecting a good start from Bradish. So this was pretty simple for me. You've got a pitcher that I'm out on against a pitcher that I'm in on, and not much between the 2 teams. I saw this at even money earlier on. Baltimore were +100. A little bit of line movement to -105, but that's not going to sway me. So I'll take the Orioles, Munaf.
The only thing that kind of concerns me about Kyle Bradish, Malcolm, is that he's 0-4 at home with a 6.29 ERA. And he has struggled against the Toronto Blue Jays as well. That does kind of give me pause. Despite the Orioles actually winning 4 of his last 5 starts, and like you mentioned, he went up against the Astros and he threw 8 shutout innings against them. So that's pretty impressive going up against an offense like that. In the 2 games that he has faced the Blue Jays, they both produced 10 or more runs combined in those games. This was early in August 9th and August 15th, 6-5 victory for the Orioles, and a 7-3 victory for the Orioles as well. So, and you take a look at Mitch White. I mean, you mentioned it. He's really regressed here ever since the start he did have with the Dodgers there. 8.5, I think, is a good number to take the over in this game. I don't know. I just can't trust Kyle Bradish at home, especially with the history that he does have against the Blue Jays. So I think we'll see some hits in this game. I think we'll see some runs being scored in this game. So I'm going to take the over 8.5 between the Blue Jays and the Orioles here, Malcolm.
Yeah, both sides are hitting well at the moment. That first game today was 7-3. I don't know if we've scored any more runs, but yeah, that would have seen us over as well. So it seems like a solid form play, Munaf. 7:05 Eastern first pitch, the Minnesota Twins and the New York Yankees. Joe Ryan gets the ball for Minnesota, and on the bump for the Yankees is Garrett Cole. The Twins +167, 2-1 on the Yankees, -200. Total is set at 7, Munaf. There's a little run of games here where there's quite a few chalky games tonight. This is kind of the start of them, where we've got 200 minus 200 or north thereof favorites. What do you make of this first one?
Yeah, this game possibly has the chance of getting postponed tomorrow. So just look out for that, because I did see that there is a 60+% chance of rain, and wind is also blowing in this game as well. Sorry, 39% chance of rain with winds. No, that's not right. Let's see here. This is tomorrow. Let me pull up. Yeah, because I did see when I was handicapping, and the website that I used that said there's possibility of it. Let me double check. Yeah, so 67% chance of rain and wind blowing in 11 miles per hour. But we'll still go through the handicap here. Joe Ryan 10-7 with a 3.88 ERA. Last 5 games he's 2-3 with a 4.55 ERA. The area that he's really struggled, Malcolm, is on the road. He does have a winning record at 4-3, but a 5.05 ERA. In that span. In his last game, he got shelled by the Boston Red Sox, where he gave up 5 earned runs in 5 innings to them. Garrett Cole on the mound for the New York Yankees is 10-7 with a 3.28 ERA. And he had a really, really atrocious start against the Twins earlier this season, where in 2 1/3 inning, he gave up 7 earned runs to the Minnesota Twins, and 8 hits he allowed. 5 of them went for home runs. At home so far this year at Yankee Stadium, he is 4-5 with a 3.15 ERA. The crazy part is he is undefeated against the AL Central teams, 5-0 with a 4.07 ERA. I don't know this. I'm on the overtrain here, Malcolm, but I want to get behind this over at 7 because, again, I feel like it's a conservative number with the struggles that both of these pitchers do have. But with that wind blowing in, it makes me a little nervous that – especially 11 miles an hour, that we won't see hits being in this game, or see a lot of hits or runs being scored in this game just because of the weather. I can't lay a $2 price with the New York Yankees. I know their offense got some home runs today, again, behind Aaron Judge, but he's pretty much just been the offense for them. I mean, if I had to make a pick here, I would probably take a stab on the Minnesota Twins money line here at plus 170. Just because I feel like that's where the value is, instead of taking a $2 price with the New York Yankees and a pitcher that has struggled against the Twins team and a little bit at home as well. So reluctantly, I'll take the Twins at plus 170.
Yeah, what you've got in this game is quite a few variables, Moon, after one of which being the weather, one of which we've also touched on early on, being this Yankees lineup. So obviously the young lad Oswaldo, what's his name, Cabrera, I think, is being run out. Marvin Gonzalez started today, as I kind of fell off. LeMahieu was left out of the lineup. LeMahieu's really struggling. I think he's been feeling this toe injury, and his swing's been suffering. The pick I've got written down, but again, it was it's a hard one to try and justify. Apart from a similar game to the one we saw today, I've got the Yankees on the run line. I think they have been scuffling along, but this is a better spot for them. But I would like to see the weather, and I would like to see the New York Yankees lineup. And Stanton's another variable you mentioned him going out. So I wasn't very original. I thought the Yankees on the run line was, if I was going to pick the Yankees, you couldn't do it at that price of minus 200, like you say. The price of plus 120 on the run line, because the Twins' offense has been relatively anemic, and Garrett Cole could keep them in check. So again, a similar game to the game we saw today, where the Yankees get over the line, something like 5-2. I could see that panning out. So that was my pick. But yeah, I wasn't very proud of it, Moonaf, and there was a lot of stuff up in the air when I was trying to handicap that one.
Yeah.
Next is a 7:40 Eastern first pitch between the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs, where Justin Dunn will go for the Reds, and Wade Miley, left-handed pitcher for the Chicago Cubs. Only got lines. We have the usual Chicago Cubs thing of no totals here until the weather comes in. Cincinnati are plus 140. The Chicago Cubs are minus 165. Justin Dunn is 1-2, has a 4.63 ERA. He's only pitched 23 1/3 with 19 strikeouts. Wade Miley is 1-0 with a 2.84 ERA. He's just pitched the 19 innings with 12 strikeouts. Justin Dunn's last 3 starts have been really, really good, and I'm pleased to see this. This was one of the pitches that was quite high, and I was getting quite a bit of stick for, because I think people weren't weren't as confident as I was. But his last 3 starts have been really good, if short. But I mean, he is just kind of getting stretched out as well. So 4 or 5 innings. This is going to be Miley's first start since the 10th of June. So my handicap here is that I think Dunn can go okay, but he will go short. So I didn't want Cincy full game. And I think Miley can be rusty. So I tried to shorten this game into a rusty start for Miley against a sharp start from Dunn, and got down to Cincinnati first 5, which I think will be round about maybe plus 120 or thereabouts. So it'll be a decent plus money price. And that was the way I decided to tackle this one, Muna.
Yeah, you're right about Justin Dunn over his last 3 games. He's been really impressive. I think the one thing that kind of does concern me about him is that he is prone to giving up home runs and also walking batters as well. And again, we're not sure where we're going to get out of Wade Miley coming back after missing close to 3 months for the Chicago Cubs. Justin Dunn did have a rough start against the Cubs. Let me see when this was. But he went 3 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 earned runs to the Cubs. This was back on August 14th, so it was recently. Then that was in Cincinnati as well. So I don't know, Malcolm. It's this God. This game is just ugly written all over to me. Again, if I had to make a pick, I would probably go with you there with the Reds. First 5 inning money line. I just don't know what I'm going to get out of Wade Miley coming back after missing 3+ months for the Chicago Cubs. And again, depending on the weather and if the wind is blowing out, I would possibly look at an over in this game as well.
Okay. Football season around the corner. If you are a football watcher, Fubo TV is the place for you. Fubo TV gives you complete coverage of college and pro football with NFL Red Zone, plus games in 4K, no extra charge, hundreds of live sports and entertainment channels for a fraction of the price of cable. You can watch them on all your devices, so you need never miss a game. You can cancel at any time, no contract. Try Fubo TV free for 7 days and get 15% off your first month at FuboTV.com/SGP. That is FUBOTV.com/SGP. Promo guy.us as well. A site that's determined to help you stretch your betting dollar a little bit further. It'll get you the biggest bonuses from all the best sportsbooks in the country, those $1,000 risk-free deposits, odds boosts, and the best analytics in the business. Promoguide.us is your guide to betting smart. That is promoguide.us. And finally here, Sleeper. Great fantasy platform. You know all about it. I've got all my leagues on there. I know you probably have too. But the over-under game, which is integrated into there, is fantastic. It is the first sports contest which is built into your fantasy experience. So if you've got a player on your team and you like their matchup for the weekend, you can just click there and you can take their props, whether it's receiving yards, passing touchdowns, things like that. And you can win anything from 2 to 20 times the stake that you put in by being right. So college football player props are on there as well, not just NFL, and as well as baseball, NBA. Sleeper.com/SGP to automatically get a $100 deposit match with the promo code SGP. Sleeper.com/SGP. Sleeper's terms of use for details, T's and C's apply. Next is 7:45 Eastern first pitch. The Washington Nationals at the St. Louis Cardinals. Paulo Espino for Washington and Jose Quintana, left-handed pitcher. For the Cards, Washington plus 215, St. Louis minus 255, total at 8. It's another chalky one, Munaf. Was this a bit less of a head-scratcher than the Yankees game?
Yeah, it was. Paulo Espino, winless on the season so far for the Washington Nationals, 0-6 with a 4.22 ERA. Got roughed up by the Cardinals team earlier this season, 4 2/3, where he gave up 4 earned runs. See the final score in that game and see how the Cardinals, or how many runs they ended up scoring in this game. That was back on July 30th. Actually, Nationals won that game. They came from behind and won that game against the St. Louis Cardinals. Scored a total of 13 runs in that game, but yeah, look, the Nationals, I think they're they're battling. I'll say that. Like they're not giving up on the season. And they're competing, I think is the right word there, Malcolm, what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But again, this Cardinals team is just on a whole nother level right now, especially offensively, right? And I think that, when you have a guy like Jose Quintana on the mound, who's been pretty solid for them since they acquired him around the trade deadline. So far on the season, he is 4-6 with a 3.47 ERA. Has faced the Washington Nationals already twice this season, where he did go 10 innings, allowed 4 earned runs to the Washington Nationals. And since he got acquired by the St. Louis Cardinals, he's 1-1 with a 3.38 ERA for the St. Louis Cardinals. So I believe in Quintana. I think this has been a great pickup for them. They've actually won 5 out of his last 6 starts for the Cardinals, and all 4 out of those 5 wins have been by 2 or more runs. And I think this is an opportunity where I think the Cardinals can dominate against Paulo Espino, who has struggled. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals run line. I'm going to keep it chalky here. -1.5 with the Cardinals against Paulo Espino and the Nationals.
Yeah, again, boring one. St. Louis run line. I just think St. Louis. Yeah, I know it's
tough. It really is.
It is tough. Sometimes I try and find something that's a bit more adventurous, but you can't just do that for the sake of it. We talked about this last night, where I was making picks just for the sake of it. I didn't have a good week last week and didn't have a feel for it. So I was just trying to kind of recenter myself, and this just looks so obvious, and it's not a bad price order. Price is -110, so it's the standard price of a over under type play. So as much of Washington have been a bit more competitive lately, we've been really impressed with Quintana all season. I think he's earned our respect. And the Cards on any given night put up 8 or 9 runs. So yeah, again, I'm not going to win any prizes for it, but I'll take St. Louis on the run line at -110. I'm just looking at my lock for tonight, Moonoff, which was the under in the Brewers-Rockies game, and it looked like it was off to a terrible start. The Rockies have scored 3 in the bottom of the first, but Freddie Peralta hasn't pitched in that one. Adrian Houser's pitching for the Milwaukee. I'm getting my excuses in early. That's what I'm doing on the grounds. If that was nothing, I wouldn't have said anything. I would have kept it. But on the grounds, it looks like it's gone tits up already. I'm going to claim the pitching change and pull it. So yeah, I don't know what's happened with Freddie Peralta there. I don't know if that'll affect maybe the pitching going forward for tomorrow's game, which we'll come to later on. Next up is a 8:10 Eastern first pitch between the Cleveland Guardians and the Kansas City Royals. Shane Bieber for Cleveland and Chris Bubich, lefty, goes for Kansas City. Lines are Cleveland are -190, Kansas City +159. Total is set at 7.5. Shane Bieber is 8-8 on the season, has a 3.06 ERA. He's pitched 159 innings with 164 strikeouts. Chris Bubich is 2-10, 5.47 ERA, 105 1/3 with 84 strikeouts. Now, what I've got here for you, Moonaf, is 3 stats that handicap this game for us. We don't even have to handicap this. It handicaps itself. It's the self-handicapping baseball game. Last 5 starts. Shane Bieber, 183. Chris Bubich, 612. So there's a 4.3 run difference in there. Split, Shane Bieber on the road, 288. Bubich at home, 598. So there is a 3.1 runs difference there. And against the NL Central, which both pitchers have played their trade against a lot this season, Bieber 264, Bubich 496. So a 2.3 run difference there. So any way you look at it, Bieber is going to come away with a 3.5 run lead. And there's no reason why Cleveland won't maintain that. Cleveland on the run line at +100, Moonaf, picks itself.
No argument for me.
Okay, nothing else to add.
I know. I mean, like, look, you even look at it, and I try to dig a little deeper and see. I mean, look, over his last 4 games, the Royals have lost all 4 of those by 2 or more runs. I know 3 out of those 4 were on the road, but it just seems like the Guardians have his number, and Shane Bieber has really good history against this Royals team. And I'll filter this down to kind of give you more of a perspective. He has a perfect 4-0 record with a 3.38 ERA. And if I even filter this more down since 2021, he has a 2.70 ERA, 26 strikeouts. One start earlier this year was all the way back in April, so I don't know if we could take a lot away from that, but I would go Guardians run line -1.5, and I'd probably take a look at the Royals team total to go under as well. Just Shane Bieber, it just has his team's number.
Yeah, absolutely. 8:10 Eastern first pitch, the continuation of the series in Texas, where the Texas Rangers will take on the Houston Astros. Glenn Otto goes for Texas, and Framber Valdez, left-handed pitcher, draws the start for Houston. You've got pretty much the same odds, Moon, off every game you've got here. Texas plus 210, Houston -255. Total here is set at 8. So another -255. Which way did you tackle this one, Moona?
Yeah, I mean, Framber Valdez has, I think it's been the last 22 or 23 games in a row where he's recorded a quality start. And I think that broke the franchise record, or it's the MLB record, one of the two. That was previously held by Mike Scott. And he's just in a groove right now. Last 5 games, 5-0 with 2.04 ERA overall for the season, 14-4 with a 2.63 ERA. I mean, this guy could possibly be a dark horse for Cy Young. I know JV and Justin Verlander's out right now, and Dylan Cease is doing his thing as well. But Framber Valdez quietly having a great season for this Astros team, and he's been so dominant against the Rangers this season. You take a look at the numbers. This is going to be, I believe, his 4th start already against the Texas Rangers team. Sorry, 5th start. He's 3-0 this season with a .96 ERA, 28 strikeouts in 4 appearances. He had 2 starts against them in the month of August, where the Astros won 7-3, and they also won 4-2. So they covered the run line in both of those games. If you want to go back even further, back on May 19th, Astros won 5-1. Then he also had a start back in April where the Rangers got that one. But the form that Framber Valdez is in right now, I really like where he's at. Glenn Otto has been good as well. Last 5 games, he's 2-0 with a 3.38 ERA, and he's done well against the Astros as well. This season in 3 starts, he has a 3.52 ERA, 0-1 record. On the road, he hasn't been able to get the wins where he's 2-4 with a 3.70 ERA, Malcolm, but I can't fade Framber Valdez in the form that he's in right now for this team. I got to go run line again with the Astros. I mean, it sounds chalky, but I mean, that's the only way I can look at it here. So give me the Astros run line -1.5, -120 with Framber Valdez.
Yeah, in a completely shameless move, Moon, I'm doing exactly the same thing. I am not embarrassed at all. You can add that onto the Yankees run line and the Cards run line, and I'll give you a clue. There might be 1 or 2 more to come. But yeah, absolutely had to be, unfortunately. I can't get behind Glenn Otto. And yeah, you have to take Houston on the run line. -120, actually. I've got this written down at -130. So I'll take those extra 10 points as well. Yeah, and I will follow suit with you there, Moonaf. 8:40. First pitch tomorrow between the Milwaukee Brewers and the Colorado Rockies. Brandon Woodruff, we believe, is going to start for Milwaukee. I don't know if that pitching change tonight will affect that at all. And Chad Kuhl goes for Colorado. The lines in this one, the Brewers are -190. The Rockies are +158. The total is set at 11 again. Same as it was for this game this evening that I looked up. Woodruff is 9-4, 3.54 ERA, 114 1/3 with 136 strikeouts. Chad Kuhl 6-8 on the season, 5.19 ERA, 112 2/3 with 87 strikeouts. Woodruff's been a little bit vulnerable. He's kind of been up and down. He's got a 3.68 ERA over his last 5, but it hasn't been a consistent spell. Chad Kuhl is really, really struggling. A 10.02 ERA in his last 5 starts. Has a 4.17 home ERA. I guess I took an under last night, but I just thought we could flip back to the over again. I didn't want to take the Brewers at that price. I think, like I say, Woodruff's a little bit vulnerable. If it was maybe any other pitcher in the Colorado rotation, I might have taken the Rockies here, because we do like picking the Rockies at home. maybe not anyone, but I could have taken 3 Rockies pitchers, but I can't take Chad Kuhl just on that recent form. But I can take the over. I can take the total. So yeah, give me over 11 at an even money price as well. So it's not too heavily juiced, Muna.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Chad Kuhl has been struggling in it. That's an understatement. Over his last 5 games, 0-3. You said it, ERA at 10. He did struggle against this Brewers team as well earlier this year. That game was back on July 24th, where that game ended up as a 10-9 final in the favor of the Brewers. I think a Brewers team total may be in play here as well, despite having better numbers on the road. At home, Malcolm, for Chad Kuhl. I just think this is a good spot for the Brewers to come out and take care of business. I do trust Brandon Woodruff. I've backed him a couple times. He does have good, or he had one good start against the Rockies. I believe that was at home. 6 innings, only allowed 1 earned run to them. So, I can see the angle about the over as well, and I think that this is going to be a game where the Brewers bats are going to be alive against Chad Kuhl. So, give me the Brewers. What was the money line on this? Money line minus 180, but I think that you probably just want to take the run line with the Brewers and take a look at the Brewers team total to go over in this game as well. That number will probably be around 6 or 6.5. It's a big number, but again, it's Coors Field.
9:38 Eastern first pitch. The Detroit Tigers take on the LA Angels. Eduardo Rodriguez, lefty, goes for Detroit, and Mike Myers goes for the LA Angels. The prices are further down here. Detroit plus 125, the Angels minus 145. Totally is set at A, Munaf. Not one of the more glamorous matchups on the board, but an interesting one to handicap. I quite liked an angle in here. What have you got?
Yeah, Eduardo Rodriguez, 3-4 on the season with a 4.17 ERA. Last 5 games, 3-2 with a 3.68 ERA. He did face the Angels earlier this season, where he threw 5 shutout innings, only allowed 4 hits, no earned runs. Did have 3 walks in that game. He got shelled by the Mariners this past week, where they lost that game 7-0. But previous to that, they had actually won 3 out of his last 4 games, and they had covered the run line in those games as well. And one of those starts was back on Sunday, August 21st, for Eduardo Rodriguez against his Angels, like I mentioned, where the Tigers actually won that game 4-0. I think Mike Myers is on the mound for the Angels in this game, and I just don't understand how this guy is favored. 1-1 on the season with a 5.17 ERA. At home this season, he has a 9.31 ERA. He's given up 20 earned runs in 19 and 1/3 innings pitched at home this season for the Los Angeles Angels. His last game was against the New York Yankees, where he came in for 4 innings and allowed 5 earned runs. I do like the underdog in this matchup, Malcolm. We're not chalky anymore here. At least I'm not. If you take a look over the last 2 weeks against left-handed pitching, the Angels are number 24 in WRC plus against left-handed pitching. So I think that's a stat that favors, obviously, the Tigers. Give me the money line here for the Detroit Tigers, plus 125 with a left-handed pitcher, Eduardo Rodriguez, on the mound.
Well, Munaf, without the 2 kids on the show here to muck us up, our cycles have synced again, like last season. I've got the Detroit Tigers as well here. I've actually taken them first 5 just to eliminate a few variables, because I think Erod's looked all right since he came back, hasn't he?
Sure.
I was a little bit surprised at these prices, because it's only the LA Angels. It's not like it's one of the premium teams, and it's only Mike Myers. Yeah. So minus 145 didn't do anything for me at all. So not quite with the full game, because you just don't trust either of them. I just if you limit this, the less chance there is for something to go wrong, because there's always that possibility. So yeah, sure. Give me Erods and the Tigers in the first 5 here. So yeah, we'll get a little bit chalk to sprinkle on top of it. Sorry, a dog to sprinkle on top of some of the chalky plays that we've thrown out. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Diego Padres. Merrill Kelly for the D-backs, and Joe Musgrove gets the ball for San Diego. The D-backs are plus 140. The Padres are minus 165. Total is set at 7. Merrill Kelly is 12-5 on the season with a 2.84 ERA. He's pitched 164 and 2/3 with 142 strikeouts. Joe Musgrove 9-6, a 3.01 ERA, 149 and 1/3 with 149 strikeouts. Merrill Kelly, a 2.78 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's 8-1 on the road. At a Diamondbacks team as well. That's incredible. That's a sort of stat you'd expect for DeGrom, or at least someone who's fluked all those wins for the Dodgers or something like that. 8-1 on the road with a 2.74 ERA. He has started 2 games against the Padres this season. Has only given up 1 earned run in those. Musgrove figures all right, 307 in his last 5, but he has given up lots of contact. There's a lot of hits in there. I love Kelly. Arizona have won a few recently. Did they win last night? I know they were on a bit of a streak. I think they won 4 or 5 in a row.
Yeah, I think they won. Zach Gallen was on the mound last night.
Wow. Yeah, Zach Gallen was absolutely incredible. 41 innings now, scoreless. They must have lost on Saturday because the streak's at 1, but they have won 8 of their last 10. So yeah, give me the more underdog stuff. Give me the D-backs here at plus 130. The Padres were I backed them last night against the Dodgers, and they got ahead, and I looked in a decent position. And then I think I went to sleep, and it was 1-0, and I must have just missed the avalanche of runs that came in the bottom half of the 4th, I think, from the Dodgers. So yeah, I'm probably talking through my pocket a little bit here. So I'm going to get my money back on this plus 140 Arizona Diamondbacks, Mina.
Yeah, I can't argue against the numbers that Merrill Kelly has against the Padres. I mean, you mentioned everything, but I think I love the under as well in this game between these two guys. It's at 7 right now. Merrill Kelly this season has been incredible against the Padres. 1 earned run, like you mentioned, he's only given up to them. It's incredible to see how much great pitching that this Diamondbacks team has. I mean, when you talk about Zach Gallen, you talk about Merrill Kelly, those are 2 good pitchers. I think that this rotation can build around. Joe Musgrove has been pretty good as well. I know he's been kind of up and down this season, but he does have good numbers against the Diamondbacks as well. 6 innings, he's only allowed 2 earned runs to the Arizona Diamondbacks. He did have 8 strikeouts in that game. 3-3 at home with a 2.71 ERA. So give me the dog. Give me the under in this game, Malcolm. I love the under in this game, under 7.
Mate, it's eerie, Munaf. 9:40 Eastern first pitch. The Atlanta Braves at the Oakland Athletics. Kyle Wright for Atlanta and Cole Irvin, left-handed pitcher, gets the start for the Oakland A's. Just got money lines on this one, no total. Atlanta minus 225. Oakland are plus 185. Munaf, it's another shorty for you. What have you got?
Yeah, Kyle Wright is just having an incredible season, and I think that it's not right that he could or probably won't be mentioned in the Cy Young Award for this season just because of the season that Sandy Alcantara is having. But Kyle Wright this season, 17-5 with a 2.85 ERA, 150 strikeouts, 43 walks. He looks like he could possibly get to 20 wins for this Atlanta Braves team. Last 5 games, he's 4-1 with a 2.53 ERA, 30 strikeouts in that span. He did face the A's earlier this season, where he threw 8 innings, only allowed 2 earned runs, struck out 7 batters. On the road this season, Malcolm 6-3 with a 2.90 ERA. Just absolutely incredible numbers for Kyle Wright. Strikeouts have been there for him as well. Last 2 games, 14 innings pitched, 0 earned runs allowed. He's only allowed 7 hits in that span as well. And you look at Cole Irvin, who's also having a pretty good season for the Oakland A's, 7-11 on the season, 3.35 ERA. He has struggled a little bit over his last 5 games, but I think there's a couple outliers in those last 5 games. Well, not outliers, but at least 3 of his last 5 games, he's allowed 5 earned runs or more to the opposition, and those have been against the Houston Astros, the Seattle Mariners, and the Washington Nationals. And now you're going up against a team like in the Atlanta Braves, who WRC plus numbers over the last 2 weeks are number 3 in the entire league. So I think this is a good smash spot to maybe stack up the Atlanta Braves here. Run line -1.5, -135. Take a look at the team total for this Braves team as well. I think that I mentioned that WRC plus stat there. I think that is a spot where the Braves can put up 6-7 runs on their own in this game. So I love the Braves to cover the run line. They're just playing great baseball right now. We mentioned at the top of the show, or when we were talking about the Mets, that they're kind of breathing down, or they're knocking on the door, as like we like to say, for that division. So I think this is an opportunity for the Braves to go up against the Oakland A's to just take care of business and be one of the worst teams in the American League. So give me the Braves -1.5 and their team total over.
You'll be pleased to know, Moonaf, I've gone completely off grid here. I've taken Oakland first 5. I don't mind Cole Irvin. I think he's all right. I know his numbers might not tell you that, but I don't mind him. And I don't mind Oakland occasionally. We do this against the Yankees sometimes. They can often find themselves in front and not hang on. Oakland have won 1 in a row as well, so you can't ignore that stat, Moonaf. What are you laughing at?
They won 1 in a row.
They have won 1 in a row. Don't argue it.
I consider a streak of at minimum 3. That's a streak.
Okay, not for Oakland.
That's true.
Not for Oakland. 1 is a streak. 1's a great streak. So give me Oakland first 5 there, Moonaf, and we can unpack that tomorrow when it's 8-0. My resurrection, my one-man resurrection of Anibal Sanchez into the Sandy Koufax of 2022 is still going, Moonaf. They are 1-0 up on the Cards after 3 innings. I mean, if he doesn't send me, I don't know, a signed shirt or something, because I've single-handedly saved his career in the last month.
He was... first inning, he had bases loaded. Albert Pujols up with 1 out, struck him out, and I think Corey Dickerson came in after that and flew out to left field, and it got out of the inning. So, and then they just tacked on 1. So, I said there was value on the Nationals yesterday. Let's see if they can hang on at least for the first 5.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 games left to handicap here. I will tell you briefly about Run Your Pool, the home of competition. Sports fans and the social circles go to play all kinds of things, from pick'ems to survivors to fantasy pools. It is your one-stop shop for sports gaming with customizable features that you don't get anywhere else. We at the SGPN have teamed up with Run Your Pool to host a pool. Stop saying pool, for our official SGPN NFL Survivor contest. Hop in now to reserve your spot. $500 cash and a $250 gift certificate to the SGPN store for the winner. Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. And Odds Trader, really good tool for all the DJs. You can compare odds from all the major sports books, and then you can compare and get the best sign-up codes and promos as well to get the best deal. On top of that, you get player stats, key game stats, injury reports, game day weather, all that sort of thing. And as well as play-by-play updates and the bet tracker, which is a great tool to use. You find all of this at oddstrader.com/bluewire. OddsTrader is your number 1 site for all of your game day bets. Penultimate game here, 9:40 Eastern, is the Chicago White Sox against the Seattle Mariners. Johnny Cueto is on the bump for the White Sox, and Logan Gilbert goes for Seattle. Probably the best-looking pitching matchup on the card, this one. The White Sox are +125, the Mariners -145. Total here is set at 7. Johnny Cueto, 7-6 on the year with a 2.93 ERA. Has pitched 129 innings with 82 punches. Logan Gilbert is 11-5, 3.35 ERA, 155 2/3 pitched with 142 punches. Johnny Cueto has a record of 3-1 in his last 5, an ERA of a level 3. But that includes one shocker, his 7 earned run start against Arizona. That's very much an outlier. You take those out, and I know you can't just arbitrarily put a line through stuff, but with the 4 starts around it being so strong, you can only put your faith in Cueto to do it again. Very similarly, Logan Gilbert has a 4.61 ERA in his last 5. And he has a 7 earned run start in there as well, which inflates his numbers. And the other 4 around that, his last 4, in fact, have all been decent. So I am really pleased to announce that when I handicapped this, the total was at 6.5. And I wanted to take the total to me was the obvious play. I took the total before I looked at the lines. I thought, right, let's have a look at the under. And I wanted to see a 7. It was at 6.5. I'm now seeing a 7. So that pleases me. But what I did come down was the first 5 under. Again, let's eliminate some variables here. I can see Cueto and Gilbert going at this, trading blows. With a total of 7, Moon, what's the first 5 going to be at? 3.5, 4?
It probably will be 3.5. As soon as that first 5 number is released, I would maybe see a 4, but I think 3.5 will be consensus for the first 5.
Okay, so yeah, it's a first 5 under for me anyway. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good pitching duel, and I'll take the tight under early doors, Munaf.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you, Malcolm. These are 2 great pitchers that are on the mound for their respective teams. You mentioned the numbers of how great Logan Gilbert has been this season. Johnny Cueto, I think the one thing that kind of stuck out to me is his road record this season, 4-2 with a 1.81 ERA. Had a great outing against the Kansas City Royals. Did get roughed up a little bit by the Arizona Diamondbacks, but other than that, he's been pretty solid for the Chicago White Sox. And again, this is a big series for the White Sox. I know we touted them a little bit over this last week for that division, but Seattle has been playing so good over this past couple weeks. They're number 1 right now in the American League wildcard spot, and I hope they hold on. I think they will. This is going to be a fun team to watch, not only for this postseason if they make it, but also for years to come. So I'm excited about this Mariners team and the direction that they're going. But yeah, I agree with you. Under 7 this game, I think that I couldn't come down on the side. I think that minus 145 is a little rich for my blood just because the White Sox have been playing well. I know they dropped the last game against the Minnesota Twins, but this is going to be a fun series. I'm gonna try to stay up and watch this for all 3 games between these 2 squads. So I agree about the underplay in this game, Malcolm.
Yeah, you're right about the Mariners. I do have a 33-1 ticket stashed away somewhere. I think they're a game and a half out of the wild card. So I'm not counting my chickens, but I think I'll certainly have 1 or 2 tickets on them next year when it comes to picking up my World Series bets. The last game here is our actually only TBD picture of this entire slate. It's a 10-10 Eastern first pitch between the San Francisco Giants and the LA Dodgers. San Francisco pitcher is the TBD. Lefty Tyler Anderson is for the Dodgers. And this game is off the board, Munaf. So I have got absolutely nothing on it. Anything from you without the Giants picture?
No, I think the pitcher for the Dodgers is going to be Tyler Anderson. I can say that much. I mean, I can quickly go through his numbers. 13-3 on the season, 2.86 ERA. Just absolutely been brilliant so far this year for the Dodgers at home this season. He's 7-0 with a 2.20 ERA. However, in 2 starts, he has struggled a little bit against the Giants, as that crazy as that may sound. Let me see if it was just 1 game where he got it or is it consistent. It was his last start back on August 2nd. That was also in San Francisco, but the Dodgers still won that game 9-5, and that previous game was back on July 22nd, where the Dodgers also won that game 5-1. And I think regardless of who the pitcher is, Malcolm, I think we talked about this on yesterday's pod that it's just the Dodgers own this team. The Giants, it's almost like a little brother, big brother thing here for these 2 squads. It's funny that it's the Giants. The name is the Giants, but it's their little brother to the Dodgers, Malcolm. So if anything, regardless of who the pitcher is for the Giants, I'm still going to go with Tyler Anderson here for the Dodgers.
Sorry, I'm watching. What are you watching? I can see his little eyes are good.
I'm watching.
What have you got on? The tennis?
Yeah, I'm watching the tennis. I'm watching Nadal and Tiafoe. I don't think I said this name right, but it just had an incredible rally. I just don't understand how these guys get to the ball so quickly and get these shots. It's just amazing to watch.
You've got to remember, Moon, that I'm not keen on the tennis because do you remember the word I used for it?
Yeah, you did. We don't need to say that. That's just disrespectful.
Childish is what it is, Moon.
Now I'm gonna get you out there and take a serve from Nadal or Djokovic and see if you can even touch the ball.
No problem. Absolutely not. I would drill one back down the line. You would just hear it before you saw it. So it thudded into the pad. I'm an incredible athlete, Munaf. I'll prove this to you at the weekend, given a chance. Set me the feat of athleticism and I will nail it. Right, stop talking rubbish. Let's make some lock and dog picks here. Lots of chalky stuff, but yeah, I enjoyed handicapping this card. Like I say, I feel like I'm focused this week, even amidst all my excitement of going away. So lead us off, Munaf. What have you got for us?
All right. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I did like on this slate, but let me go. Let's go with I'm going to go with the Braves run line in this game against A's. I just think that Kyle Wright is just pitching really well for this team. I talked about the WRC plus numbers for the Braves against left-handed pitching. I think that they'll just come in and just keep on rolling the way they have been and knocking on the door of the New York Mets for that division title and the NL East. So I'll take the -1.5, -135 for the Atlanta Braves as my lock. For my dog, I'm going to go with the Detroit Tigers. Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound at +125. Again, left-handed pitching stats I said as well. I don't think Mike Mayer should be a favorite in this game, though. Just, as we discuss of how bad he has been for the LA Angels. So, and again, Eduardo had one good start this season. I know very, very small sample, but 5 innings of shutout baseball. I think that the Tigers can go and at least steal one of these games from the LA Angels. So I'll take that as my dog of the day. And I'll also mention this, Malcolm. I know there's a couple of agreements that we did like on some of these totals. I love that under in the Diamondbacks and Padres game as well. So maybe a little bonus lock as well for that game.
My lock is going to be the run line in the Cleveland at Kansas City game. It just was black and white when I handicapped it earlier on. I laid out the numbers for Bieber against and over Bubic. I just can't see why they won't be 2 or 3 runs ahead by the sort of bottom of the 5th inning and then just continue to put them away. So good price as well. Even money, +100 Cleveland on the run line. And for my dog, I had 2 or 3 to choose from here. We mentioned the Tigers, but you've taken them, so that's okay. I liked Cincinnati first 5 behind Justin Dunn. But I'm going to take the D-backs. I just think you can't argue with Merrill Kelly's numbers even a little bit. And on the road, they're even more impressive. The Padres are okay. They're no more than that. So, yeah, +140 looks like an excellent price against the pitcher who's been going really well. I think the D-backs have won 4 out of the last 5. So, plenty competitive enough and a lovely plus money price, Munaf. So that's it. That was a fun show. I enjoyed that. That was a nice card to get involved in. Munaf, you mentioned your 3 drafts tonight. Who you one player you're coming out of all 3 drafts with on your team? Who is it?
I don't think he's gonna be there, but I'm really high on Justin Jefferson this season. Wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. I think Nick Chubb, if he's there at that 7-8 position, I think he's going to be utilized very heavily for this team, for the Cleveland Browns, with Deshaun Watson missing about 11 games. So I think that might be a good late first round pickup, maybe early second round if he's still on the board. So a couple players that I like this season to put up some numbers.
Okay, so you concentrate and get that then. Brilliant. Thank you very much, everyone who joined in the chat and watched live, and also all of our listeners. Really do appreciate it. It's now 35 hours till Wheels Up, Moon Off. We've ticked another hour off. Another one's gone. 35 more to go.
Worried.
You should be worried. Mate, imagine how excited I'm going to be this time tomorrow when we're podcasting. I'm going to have to put my phone sort of face up because I'll be on the ceiling floating around. So, yeah, thanks, everyone. Good luck with all your bets. And we will see you down the road. Cheers.